I am not a YouTuber, and neither do I want to be, but I'm the kind of person that just makes random ass tier lists to send to group chats just as a dumb little time waster. So, I thought, why don't I just make a YouTube video out of it for once? And you know, the last video I uploaded was also ReZero related, so why pass up the excuse to yap about more ReZero? So yeah, here's a very scuffed ranking video of a bunch of character designs in ReZero, from seasons 1 to where we are currently at in season 4. Time to commence the tier list slop. The rankage has commenced, oh so cool. Yeah, so I don't like doing letter tiers for tier lists, because, you know, letters mean different things to different people, so I like using words, but you can sort of get the general idea of what the tiers are anyway. So bottom tier, not a fan. Basically just a character design that just really doesn't do anything for me. Just a design that I don't particularly think is good. Maybe it's like a really bland design. Maybe it's a background character, and so it's like, of course it's a bad design. Just stuff like that. Okay, could be better tier. That is a tier for, basically it's a tier for, oh yeah, that character design is alright, I guess. I actually don't know if all these tiers are going to be filled up or not, because for all I know, there might not be a single bad character design in ReZero, because I haven't really thought about it until I started this tier list. But anyway, well designed. That's sort of just a blanket good statement. Like, yeah, that's a good design. Pretty great design. That's like a little bit more, you know? It's like, hey, that design's actually like pretty great. Absolute drip. That would be a tier that I'd say would be equivalent to the A tier. Just really, really good, but not the absolute cream of the crop, you know? And peak zero, well, that's just a peak design. And first off, an automatic one that's automatically going there. It's Subaru, right? Subaru's base jacket, just absolute peak cinema, okay? And yeah, I've got a wide selection of characters to choose from. Not every single character. Like, you're not gonna see Garfield's mother's new husband or whatever. You're not gonna see like characters like that. But I have included some random obscure characters, some glopshidos, as it will, because why not? Why not? An important thing to mention is that for this tier list, I'm not really basing it around like how comfy it is to wear the clothes or whatever. Like, that's how some other people rank character designs, like, oh, is this outfit realistically wearable or whatever, or how comfortable is it, or is it uncomfortable for the character to wear? Whereas I don't really base things on that. I don't really care about that too often. Like, I'm not gonna suddenly just get outraged at a show if something's like, oh, that's not wearable at all. But yeah, I'm not that kind of person. However, there's an exception for this tier list, and that is Subaru's jacket. Because Subaru's jacket, I would absolutely wear that. Like, I'm honestly so tempted to try and see if I can like find some kind of recreation of the jacket. Like, it is just the epitome of cool. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. Subaru, he's like simultaneously generic and also like unique, if that makes sense. Because if you were just to describe his looks, you know, it'd seem pretty generic, like, oh, black short hair. It's like when you actually watch the show, it's like he looks a little unorthodox as far as main protagonists go, and I'm mainly talking about the face, right? Because he's not like overly handsome or anything like that, but he's not like overly generic either. He's like, because there's so much traumatic scenes and like hardships that this character faces and desperation that he has and like low points in his character and personality and stuff like that, like they make his face sort of like contort in interesting ways that I don't really see other isekai doing, or even just a lot of anime in general doing. And it makes him kind of interesting. And of course, character design isn't always based on just how interesting something is, like, but he still stands out really well because, again, he's got the tracksuit and he's not dressing in fantasy gear until the 4th season even. So he still stands out pretty well. But, and also just the color combination of black and orange is just something you don't see every day, and it's really striking. And again, it is just the epitome of drip. It is something that I would generally wear in real life. Like, that tracksuit is dope. Like, again, I'd wear that. Like, winter's coming up in a month's time, so I genuinely might be looking for it. Subaru's base jacket is just so cool. But of course, season 4 is airing, and Subaru has a new outfit. He's finally sort of blending into the world of Lagunica, as it were. Well, you know, this may just be an outfit for the desert, but, you know, I can't see him going back to the jacket and tracksuit from here on. And, you know, it's a little bit sad because I really like it. I really like that jacket. But again, this might be a bit harsh, but I don't really love this new outfit. that much. I like it more as a story reason, but you know, some of you might be here from my reaction / review series, and in episode 2 of season 4, I audibly went, no! We saw Subaru without the jacket, and it's a good design, this new one, but I just immensely prefer that jacketed look. And it's not even just that the jacket was better. It's just, I think the jacket was a lot better than the look he has now. Like, the look he has now, he sort of is looking a bit more generic. Like, yeah, he's still got the black and orange thing going on, but he also has like a tinge of green, and I think green fits Subaru well, but I'm sort of struggling to put to words just what I don't really love about it. And I guess all I can say is I just don't love it. It's just not the most amazing thing in the world. It's well designed, I'll give it that, but again, nothing crazy, so into well-designed tier it goes. It might have sounded like a bit of a negative talk about Subaru's new design, but that's because I have something to compare it to. Well-designed is actually just the general blanket statement good tier, you know? But as for something that is a lot better than just a regular good, Amelia, and another peak design. Like, again, it's like, I don't think I really appreciated Amelia and Amelia's design and just anything about Amelia until around season 2, because I feel like in season 1 she was very overshadowed by both Subaru and Rem and a bunch of those other characters, whereas she really got to shine in season 2, and I think her character design shined a lot in season 2 as well. It got amplified, and well, it got amplified in different ways in season 3, I'll say that, but her design just got generally amplified a lot in season 3, just because the art direction in that season was, I think they're aiming for something a lot more akin to the light novel designs. If DePay's goal when envisioning this character was to make her just the most ethereal sort of like half-elf lady you could imagine, then I think the character designer did 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100 job at bringing that vision to life. Because, and I think Amelia has messed me up when it comes to elf characters, because now I just prefer the way Amelia looks compared to a whole bunch of other elf characters in media with like longer actual full elves rather than Amelia's half-elf sort of look. And you know, I can't even really bring to words exactly what I love about this design, because it's not that over the top, to be honest. And you know, looking at it, she really only has like 3 colours to it. It's just white, purple, and the tiniest little accent of green with Puck's gem. It just goes so well. You can just take one look at this character, and I feel that you'd be able to get all that you need to know about her. Like, just this most lovely, lovely person. And I feel like my evaluation for this character design is pretty terrible, because I'm just giving straight up praise, but that's honestly how I feel. Like, I honestly think it's borderline a perfect character design. It's just that good. So Amelia is also going in peak tier. Alright, so since we're on season 4, I'm thinking might as well rank a season 4 character. And we just got actually introduced proper to Shaola last episode. As of recording this, I'm around episode 3. You could probably count on one hand how many shots she's appeared in, so we don't really see how well this character design works in motion, but even then, I'd still say this is a very, very, very solid design, you know? Again, black and orange. It is a color combination you don't really see that often, and it gives the same sort of like cool vibes as black and red gives, but black and orange you don't see as often as black and red, so I guess it stands out a bit more, you know? Again, how she works in the stars of the Pleiades onto her character design, how there's 7 stars with the 6 around a necklace and the 1 in a little, like, it's almost like a scorpion tail braid almost. It's really interesting. And yeah, her eyes are also very unique. They have the like 3 dots in them that like hint towards her eyes sort of being like reticles almost. Again, we barely know anything about Shaola, so this is all speculation on my part. A really cool design, and yes, I have to say, an attractive design as well, okay? I have to point that out, and you know, that obviously alters things a bit, you know, there's a little bit of bias towards that. However, I can also just admit that, attractive or not, it's just a really solid design, you know? And so I'm excited to see her in motion, and how she'll stand out compared to the rest of the cast, so that'll be cool. I'll put her 1 full tier above Season 4 Subaru. Now, I'm not going to rank every single possible character in ReZero, because, quite frankly, I don't want to do that, and it's going to get to a point to where they don't have any like standout designs or whatever, and I'm just going to be like ranking like absolute galop shittos that don't stand out at all. But we all have our favorite galop shittos in certain shows, and One of my favorite glop shitos in ReZero is this one man who's appeared in maybe one scene in the entire show, and that is Russell Fellow, right? You might not even know who Russell Fellow is, but man, I gotta tell you, I am the #1 Russell Fellow fan in the world, right? And I am absolutely delighted to see that he has a game illustration. I'm guessing this is from a visual novel of some kind of ReZero visual novel. I'll put the picture on screen, but this is what an absolute dapper gentleman, while still having his own sort of unique swag. Like, how often do you see a dapper gentleman with this almost mullet look and this little, like, axe-shaped beard? And it is just so much drip. He is the aura king. Okay, I'm gonna stop that right there. But yeah, Russell Fellow, he's in like literally one scene, and I only remember him because the way that scene plays out in the dub is just like comedy gold, right? So what happens is he introduces himself. He says, "Oh, I'm Russell Fellow, such and such and such and such," and that scene goes on, and then he leaves, and then Subaru just says, "Who was that?" And then I think Ram's with him, and she says, "Oh, that's Russell Fellow." He literally introduces himself as Russell Fellow. Again, the way that plays out in the dub is just I don't know why I find it so funny, but he's not all that interesting, to be honest. But again, I just find him amusing. Okay, you gotta have that one glop shitter that you just like get really attached to, and Russell Fellow, that is my glop shitter. If you don't know what the term glop shitter means, then this entire conversation has probably sounded just absolutely deranged. But yeah, I'll do the reasonable thing, and I won't rank him that high. I'll just put him in well designed and just leave it at that, because yeah. But he is Russell Fellow, so I'm gonna move him to peak tier. Why? Because he's Russell Fellow. It's a pretty random order of characters, so the next one up, Wilhelm van Astraea. This is specifically the old man version. I'm gonna rank the young version afterwards. But old man Wilhelm, he is certainly an old man. That's what I'll say. He's a pretty good design. I'll say that. Like he's nothing overly special, but he's still pretty cool. You know, I will say I think I'm liking him more as a character rather than just pure character design. But he's got some swagger. I will say he definitely looks way better than his middle-aged version. You know, he has that silver fox syndrome. You know, where he just doesn't look all that good in his middle ages, but then he just like ages gracefully into this like majestic old man. But you know, he's not that majestic, so he's going in good tier. Young Wilhelm, though, I'm going to be brutally honest, it just doesn't do anything for me. I think it's the hair. There's just something off about it, and it's not really something that's present in his old man design, so I don't really know why it's like that. I think it's meant to like contrast with Theresia, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just not a fan. Just not a fan. If I were to watch an anime with this guy as the protagonist, I try not to be a shallow person with just the aesthetification of everything, but it would be hard to bring me to watch an anime if the main protagonist looked like that. So yeah, he's not going to be ranking high. Okay, next up is Krush Karsten, and I'm going to be ranking her pre-gluttony design separate from her post-gluttony design. From what I understand, her design before her memories are erased is more of a facade, from what I understand, where she takes on this sort of like more masculine role. Again, that's just my personal interpretation of it. I don't know. I might just be completely wrong, and she actually is meant to be this more commandeering sort of personality, and her getting her memories erased is like actually disrupted her personality. I will take it as a post-gluttony, her true colours sort of show out, and before her memories are erased, she's actually just sort of like bearing through with the responsibilities and all that. I don't know if I'm wording this best. Her pre-gluttony design is a lot better than her post one, and again, it's just because she actually like fits into the role. She's actually like taking on this sort of role in her camp, the Krush camp or whatever. You know, this sort of dark green hair is not something you see a whole lot. It's pretty cool, you know. Where would I rank it? I would actually say it's better than Shala, to be honest, because yeah, it's just that uniform look. It's very cool. It's very cool. So yeah, I'll rank it higher than Shala. But post-gluttony design, you know, I'll rank it one tier below the pre-gluttony look. You know, because again, she doesn't really fit. She's like more smiley in her post-gluttony design. She's like a little bit more fearful as well. And after season 3, yeah, let's just say her character design might get worse. So yeah, for now we'll rank it one tier below. But Patrash is peak tier. I do not make the rules. Patrash is peak tier. Okay, that's just the way it is. Doesn't matter what the context is, Patrash will always be peak, you know? Peak character design, and peak in terms of the horrific scale of deaths, you know? Yeah. Appaman is peak. Doesn't matter the character. Okay, I'm just gonna stop this. I'm not gonna do it again. But yeah, Appaman. He is the glopshido of ReZero. One of the first guys that Subaru ever meets. But yeah, I don't even know. I put him here for a joke. But I honestly don't know where to put him. Yeah, he's I will say, for a complete background character, he doesn't have bad design. He's a pretty cool fellow. So I'll put him in well designed and just leave it at that. You know, he's a cool fellow. Not as cool as a Russell fellow, but yeah. Next character. Let's see. Oh, Satella. Interesting. Well, this will be an interesting character to rank because I feel like a lot of the reasons for where I'd place her is just stealing stuff from Amelia's character design. But that's also Satella's character design, so yeah, it's hard to rank. She's sort of ethereal, like for 99% of the series. We don't really see her that often. Like we only got a really good look at her in 2 episodes in season 2, and we see her silhouette a lot in certain other scenes. She had like pink lipstick, purple lipstick, or whatever in season 1, and from what I understand, that was just an animation mistake. Like they didn't know what Satella looked like at that point, so they just sort of winged it. I still like to think that that's canon, that for whatever reason, Satella had some different appearance back then, and she was actually envious of Amelia, and so later in season 2, she actually stole Amelia's face to try and get Subaru's attention. And I don't know how well that theory is in practicality, because now that I think more about it, I think it's actually more likely that the reason Satella looks like Amelia is actually just she's related to Amelia. Probably not mother, because unless both Amelia's mother and father were both half-elves, the genetics just wouldn't work out. And I think we already know Amelia's dad was a full elf, so yeah, it doesn't work out. More than likely, Satella is either just Amelia, and it's some weird time travel shit. I'm not sure if I'd like that, to be honest, but yeah. Or Satella is Amelia's twin, or something like that. And I think out of all the explanations, I would like that the most, why she looks like Amelia. Why they would be like 500 years apart, I have no idea, but yeah, whatever. Satella. Ooh, I really don't know where to rank her, because she just looks like Amelia, but with a different hairpin. I'll rank her 1 tier below Amelia in absolute drip. Just because she doesn't have Amelia's outfit, she has a different outfit. It's like a... Well, we don't really know, to be honest. It's like a black cloak. Yeah, that's where I'll rank her. I'll rank her in absolute drip. She's going to have to work harder to win Subaru's affection, because she doesn't have... She may have Amelia's face, but she doesn't have Amelia's drip. God, I've said the word drip so much. Next character. Ooh, Rem. Lovely Rem. Well, I'm not going to be ranking her season 4 design, because, well, this is just going to be her design from season 1, because, seasons 2 through 4, she may have a technically different outfit in those seasons, but, she's not much of a character, so I'll just be ranking her season 1 design now. She weirdly enough got a redesign for season 3, where she's awake, but, she's not awake in season 3, so, Rem. Is that typical sort of maid design that you see in a lot of animes, but even if it's overused, that shouldn't be a reason to put down a character design. I kind of don't know what to say about Rem, because I feel like a lot of what makes the character design good is when she's put next together with Ram, because you've got that whole like symmetrical maid design, with one with pink hair, one with blue hair, with the ribbons and bows on separate sides. So yeah, I don't really know where to place Rem. Yeah, the sort of sky blue shade of hair, really nice shade in my opinion. So I don't think she's full on peak. I will put her in absolute drip, because there is a reason for why she is so beloved. And as much as we would love to say, oh, it's just for writing purposes and just from how much of a lovely character she is, but there's other reasons, and more shallow reasons, such as her character design. And yeah, it is a very good character design. So okay, kind of a random character, but Reala, Garfield's mother. Huh. Where am I going to rank Reala? Yeah, she's just going to inherently be lower, because she is very much a tertiary character, like even less than tertiary, to be honest. Is there a name for it, like quartiary? I don't know, whatever. I will say you can very much tell that she's Garfield's mother without having to rely on beastman characteristics, because she's obviously not a beastman. She just marries two different beastmen. That is weird to think about it. How she just must really have a thing for cats. I'll try not to think about it. Classic white woman. Did I really just say that? Anyway, I mean, I hate to be harsh, but she's kind of just a generic woman. But she's not bad, so I'll go could be better, but even then I don't actually really think it could be better. I think she's sort of done perfectly for the kind of character she is. You know, I was hoping my commentary would be a little bit more interesting, but, you know, it's sort of just me saying, oh, this design is good, and just that's it. And, yeah, for another character that I just sort of think is good, Pandora. Well, actually, now I think about it, her design is pretty striking, come to think of it. So I might actually rank it higher. Yeah, you know, it is quite striking. There is a reason why that, like, 144p image of her in Theresia's flashback is just enough to send shivers down your spine and just, like, get absolutely jump scared and just... So yeah, I think Pandora's actually really good. Yeah, actually come to think about it, she has a really good design, come to think about it. Yeah, I'll put her on absolute drip. I will say, I have no idea what the hell she's wearing. It's like, she's just wearing a poncho, and that's it. It's a little bit strange. And she also weirdly looks vaguely like Amelia, but I don't know if that's meant to be intentional, or if that's just Utsuka, the character design. I think that's how you say his name, Utsuka. Old Man Rom, the secret third sibling of Rem and Rom. Yeah, Old Man Rom. We haven't seen him in quite a bit, so I don't know how the modern anime would draw him, but yeah, that'll be a problem for the staff of season 9. The only arc that I've fully read in the web novel rather, is arc 1, and that is the arc that most prominently features Old Man Rom. And in the web novel, I think they specify that he's actually like a giant. You know, he's got that like lanky arms. Yeah, he's well designed. Nothing crazy, because I do forget about him a lot. Yeah, he's well designed. 8 arms Kurgan. It's just peak. Designing a character with 4 arms is already hard enough, but 8 arms with also legs, and 4 of them are wielding swords, and 2 of them are crossed in front, and he's got like 2 other arms that are just there for like grappling. Like that sounds so hard to design, and yet it just looks so good and well designed. And again, the salt and pepper like dreadlocks that he's got, it is just rule of cool to the max, you know. So yeah, honestly, the only reason why I could ever potentially bring Kurgan down a tier is if we meet 9 arms Kurgan. Oh, Hector. I will say, I constantly forget about this character. I forget he even exists. He's technically a witch, or a warlock in this case, but yeah, the Warlock of Melancholy, Hector. He very much looks like someone that would inspire Roswell without him literally just looking like a Roswell clone, if that makes sense. He definitely looks like the epitome of melancholy, I'll tell you that. And yeah, like Roswell, he also has like a weird clownish vibe to him, but only in his clothes. Like in his face, you wouldn't be able to tell he's a clown at all. But his outfit though, it's very, very clowny. The symmetrically designed but asymmetrically coloured sort of stripes in the diamond shapes. Yeah, very, very clownish. But like yeah, Hector is a little bit forgettable, but his design's not bad. I don't know if we'll ever see anything of Hector again in the future, or if he's just aspect of Roswell's backstory. But Hector's well designed, I'd say. I feel like it should be higher, but I don't know if I should. I don't know if it's high enough to be alongside Charlotte and Krush. So, in well designed he goes. Next up is Felt, who have also separated into 2 different character designs: her season 3 outfit, season 3 and 4 rather, and her season 1 outfit. And I'm just gonna make this brief. Her season 3 outfit, it is absolutely just so good. Again, a cheat code for me to think a character design is good is a long scarf. I don't know why. I just really like long scarves and character designs. I just find them so cool. And the long blue of Felt's design, it is just so good. And there's also the princess design she had in the middle of season 1, and that design obviously didn't really fit her. And you know that was kind of the point, is that she's this wild little gutter rat. She doesn't really fit in pretty princess clothes. So yeah, this season 3 outfit, it's sort of like it is more refined than her season 1 outfit, because now she's actually part of a camp. She's actually got the backing of Reinhard. She obviously is able to afford better clothes, but it still fits her personality and her wild side. And I think that scarf is just the best indicator of that, because, you know, you wouldn't really expect like a noble to have that sort of long, just sort of like crazy scarf, but Felt has it, and it fits her while also still being neater than the sort of design that she had in season 1. And for her design in season 1, yeah, it's definitely not as good as the season 3 design, but I still like a season 1 design. You know, her season 1 scarf is a little bit more rugged, obviously, because again she is a gutter rat. Her season 1 outfit has a sort of like asymmetrical legging thing going on. I don't know if it's meant to be torn on one side, or if that's just the design and she just has that for some reason. But I'll put her in pretty great. So it's nothing spectacular, but I will say it's better than just regular good. She is one of the 5 royal candidates after all, so she sort of has to have a good design. So yeah, she sort of has to have a better than good design. So I'll put her in better than good. Time for a backstory character, Mother Fortuna. This design I don't think of as much ever since we saw Amelia's season 4 design, because I feel like Amelia in season 4 just has this design of Mother Fortuna, but just better, because she also has that like little fox hood. And I feel like I was more positive on this design in the past, but now not so much, because I have something better to compare it to. So I'll just put her in well designed and just leave it at that. Theresia Van Estrella, both her young and old versions into 2 separate rankings. Yeah, her young design, when she's just like talking about the "do you like flowers" part. I don't love that design, but I like her more when she's actually in the armor and she has her hair tied back in a ponytail and she's actually the current Master Swordsman, which is kind of messed up because Theresia doesn't like being the Master Swordsman, but I feel like her character design is better as a Master Swordsman, so that's just how this ranking goes, I guess. But I'll put her in pretty great. And I guess there's also the reanimated version of her, which I'll also rank again, because that was the young version. For some reason, I don't know why it was her young version rather than the old version. Maybe Pandora had something to do with that, I don't know. But yeah, her reanimated design was pretty lifeless and daunting looking. That worked very well as a design as well. So yeah, but her middle-aged design, oh, well, we only see it for a brief, not even an episode, because a lot of that episode was just of a young version. But I will say, middle-aged Theresia, she aged very, very well. Compare her to middle-aged Wilhelm, and it's night and day. She looks like her middle-aged version. She looks like she's 20, whereas Wilhelm looks like he's 60. Her young design was more cool, whereas this design is more like beautiful, I guess. But yeah, both in the same tier. Is Anastasia Hoshin? I didn't include Aridna in this, so I specifically used an artwork of her where she's not Aridna. It really doesn't change much, but it changes some of the mannerisms, I guess, because Aridna has a little bit of Echidna mannerisms, because obviously it is Echidna. But yeah, Anastasia. Oh, I still like the design. It's weird. I don't know if it fits this character, but I still really like the design. It's such a strange feeling. I still put it in absolute drip, because it is just really cool. You can tell she comes from a different part of the world, because she has that sort of like big fluffy hat, and just the fox coat. You can tell that she's you can tell she's very Anastasia, if that makes sense. But yeah, there's a bit of anime-isms to her design, a little bit with the how it's like skin tight to where you can see her belly button, but then it's like flowing around the legs. Like that is very much an anime-ism. But like I guess just to get it out there, anime-isms like that don't really bother me like at all. But I feel like I should mention that because that would be a detractor for a lot of people when it comes to character design. It's just not a thing that bothers me. Like there's a certain extent with things like that do bother me. Like when clothing like looks vacuum sealed almost. If it was to a point to where it's like you could see every little contour of her body, I think that would be a bit ridiculous. But how it is now, it's fine. So yeah, I'll rank it in absolute drip. I will say her design in season 1 though was significantly weaker. In season 1 she looks like really, really young, which she kind of has that look of the child that wears her mother's clothes, if that makes sense. In season 3 they make her a little bit like taller, so she looks less like that. So yeah, Anastasia Hoshin in absolute drip. We have hit the holy grail of character designs. Beatrice, no last name, just Beatrice. Yeah, absolute peak. Like this may be the best character design in ReZero. In theory, it shouldn't be. This design should be messy. It's like striped leggings with like this crazy detailed flowing dress that like zigzags out and this little like big bow on the side and this like Santa like shawl over her shoulders. These crazy twin drills. this like weird little crown on her head with like overly detailed eyes that are shaped like butterflies. Like, this should not work. I don't know what substances Utsuka was taking when he was designing her, but it just comes together so well for Baeko. I don't really know why, but it just does, you know? There's probably someone out there that can articulate why the design is so good that I can't. She feels overly prim and proper as a haughty spirit like Beatrice is, but again, without being like too over-designed. Again, Beatrice's design is just done so well. So yeah, just peak. It's just peak, what can I say? See, you can really tell that this is Tierlist slop by how much I'm saying peak, but yeah. Next character, let's see. Who's gonna be, oh, Roy Alphard, okay. That is not the character I expected next, but yeah, Roy Alphard. We haven't seen a whole lot of him, because he was just introduced in Season 3. Ranking the gluttonies separately is a little bit interesting, because I feel like their strengths as character designs is more apparent when compared next to each other. So just Roy Alphard on his own. So yeah, I might just rank Roy in just regular well-designed. Again, I feel like what makes his design better is that he appears a lot more eloquent than Lai. Whereas Lai just feels like this emaciated savage child, whereas Roy seems like the opposite. Roy seems, like I said, eloquent. Though with these weird claw hands, it almost looks like, yeah, strange. Next up is Rui Arneb. And we've seen barely anything of her. Again, she has that Anastasia thing, where it's like the flowing dress with the weirdly tight enough to show her navel. And these weird shoes, they're like reverse shoes. They're like on the tops of her feet, and just clear on the soles. That is very strange. Strange. I'll put Rui in well designed. Like, I don't have much of an opinion, but I can still admit that it's good. So I'll just put it in well designed and leave it at that. Mimi, or it's not just Mimi. This is just all the cat triplets, because they don't differ enough for me to rank them any differently. But yeah, Mimi. The cats are going in well designed. Just leave it at that. Again, they're just small little chibi cat creatures. Heinkel no van. I will say, they did a good job at making him look like Reinhard. If you just saw a screenshot of Heinkel, you may think that this was Reinhard after like some brutal time skip. But no, this is a different person. This is Reinhard's dad. Yeah, I'll put Heinkel into pretty great design. Again, if I ranked him too high, it would be a bit ridiculous. But I think this is a good tier for him, because you can just tell with one glance that this guy still just an absolute mess. He's had some problems in his life, both with Reinhard and Wilhelm, and just all the problems. And now the Master Swordsman power skipping his generation really affected him. You can tell it hit him hard. So yeah, that being apparent just through the character design, that's a win in my book. So yeah, pretty great design. The Mad Lad Ricardo. He is most certainly a beastman. He's a very cool beastman though. I say that's enough to boost him up to pretty great. I don't hate Liliana's design. I know a lot of people do, but I'm not one of those people. Not even light novel design. I'm just not the type of person that gets offended over stuff like that. But yeah, Liliana. And again, I think how people feel about Liliana's design is affected a little bit by how they feel about Liliana as a character. I know readers absolutely detested Liliana, because here's the thing: her main positive quality is that she's an amazing singer. But the problem is, in a written medium, you can't hear the songs, so it's just a bunch of nonsense. And I felt that when I listened to parts of an audiobook for Season 3. And her dialogue was just a whole bunch of nonsense, it felt like. But again, my first experience with her was through the anime, where she's animated. You can hear her voice and hear her singing, and she's delightful. She's honestly very delightful. I think Priscilla says it best, where I think she says, quote unquote, her silliness is endearing. And yeah, that's how I feel about Liliana. Her silliness is endearing. That's just my short little opinion of Liliana, I guess. Because I think it's safe to say that I will absolutely not be talking about Liliana in the Season 4 reviews. So this is my only chance. Like I said earlier, this is not based on how comfortable it would be to wear the character's outfit. Because if you pay attention to Liliana's outfit, that is a whole load of messed up the way it is. It has like a wrapped around her neck, but then it goes all the way around her waist and like pulls up at, I don't know a tasteful way of saying this, it sort of like pulls up at her crotch. but it's wrapped around her neck, so it's like, ugh. I feel like if you were to actually wear that, you'd be like hunched over all the time without like strangling yourself or like, I don't know how else to say it other than a double wedgie. But I think the main thing about Liliana is that there's something off about her design that I can't quite pinpoint, and I think it honestly just might be the fact that I think she's meant to be emaciated, but neither the light novel or the anime really illustrate that in a way that makes it apparent that she's emaciated and not just has weird cartoonish proportions. Because in the anime, she's very rectangular, whereas the light novel just makes her appear very, I don't even know what you call that. I really do not know how to articulate it, but there's just something off. But with that said, despite that little bit of offness, it's an otherwise pretty great design. So I think that's the tier I'd put her in. Pretty great, but yeah, there's something intangibly off about Liliana's design. I don't quite know how to describe. But she's also one of the characters that got redesigned, or rather censored, as it were, for season 3. And yeah, I think I mentioned already. I think I prefer the censored design, but not 100%. I think there's a way they could have more elegantly done it. Because in the light novel, she's full on wearing a micro bikini, and I'm not someone that's offended by that kind of thing in anime. Like, I've seen shit like that in anime for decades at this point. Like, that doesn't bother me at all. But I don't think it's the best design she could have had. Like, I think what would have been better is a middle ground where her top is sort of modeled after a regular bikini, have it actually be triangular, similar to a light novel design without being that skimpy. Because yeah, a lot of people really hate her light novel design because it's so skimpy, but again, that doesn't bother me. So if it was like that in the anime, I wouldn't have cared. Because again, when it comes to elements like those in anime, I just thug it out. Did I really just say thug it out? Oh my god. But yeah, it just doesn't offend me. So, but yeah, I've been talking about Liliana for way too long. So yeah, pretty great. I'll move on. I'll move on for Liliana. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I was talking about Liliana for 6 minutes. Jesus Christ. Okay, time to speed it up a little bit. With Kiritaka, hey, talk of Liliana. We're coming back to Liliana, I guess. Yeah, he could be better. There's not much to say about Kiritaka, so I'll just leave it at that. Joshua, or Yoshua, how would you say it? He kind of just looks like Julius, but with a monocle. I don't know if they're meant to be twin brothers or if he's meant to be the younger brother, because he looks a lot like Julius. And to be honest, there's something off about him looking so much like Julius, so I'll put him in could be better as well. Sirius Ramone Conti, if that even is her actual name. Sirius has a cool design. Okay, she's slightly unnerving. A very different design from what ReZero normally had up until that point, but it is a very welcome one. I want to put her in Peak Zero, but like if I'm thinking logically about it, I don't think it's that. I don't think Sirius has that good of a design, but it's still unique, you know, because she has the whole bandage look and the chains wrapped around her. Yeah, it's just cool stuff. Just cool stuff with the silver hair sort of peeking out, like it's not done up that well. Yeah, it's just cool. Just cool. Lie, how would you say it? Yeah, I'm gonna put him right next to all the other gluttony siblings because he has a similar sort of look going for him, and he's not that much more unique yet. They're still good designs, but you know they're nothing crazy. Oh, okay. Moving on to some of the witches with Carmilla, Witch of Lust. One of the most modest designs in the series. So very interesting for a Witch of Lust. You would think of something more raunchy, but you know, I think that's part of the appeal of Carmilla is that she's so chaste, so to speak. Even though I just said something positive about the design, I think it could be better. I think there's still something missing with the design, so I'm gonna put her in could be better. But Typhon. Yeah, it's not illustrated in this artwork, but I do find it curious how in the actual anime, her dress is see-through. It's very much an Utsuka moment if I ever saw one, but yeah, I'd say Typhon is better designed than Carmilla. You know, it's a small little munchkin with a flower headdress. It's pretty simple, but it's nothing crazy, especially considering it's the Witch of Pride. But you know, I'm gonna rank it in well designed because I just think it's neat. Stepping away from the witches for a minute, this is the Goon Squad, so to speak. Ratchins, Chambly, and Gaston. I'm ranking them all as one because you're not gonna be catching me ranking each of the Goon Squad as separate characters. I have no idea why I'm calling them the Goon Squad. Why am I doing that? Yeah, I'm ranking them could be better, but to be honest, I think for the kind of characters they are, they're fine. But Daphne, Witch of Gluttony. If we're including her little mech, and this is going up way high, because again, similar to the scarf thing, if you want to make me really like a character design, have a character design that is like very clearly just bad news to the point to where they have to be restrained like this, where it's like maximum security, just do not let this character get out, no matter the cost. And Daphne has this aspect just done so well, just completely blindfolded, and you would think that the Witch of Gluttony should have a restraint over her mouth, because if her ability is anything similar to Roy or Lie, then you do not want to have that mouth open. Yeah, the black and purple combined with the just heavy maximum security restraints. Again, I struggle with articulation for this kind of thing, but if I struggle for articulation, I should just go full zoomer and say, Daphne Azora, what can I say? I really just said that. Okay, another witch with Sekhmet, Witch of Sloth. And she's standing up for this character design, little sheet, but I don't think she can stand up, or she'd want to, because she's the Witch of Sloth, so I don't think she'd want that. But yeah, Sekhmet is so cool. Just the long flowing magenta hair with the black and grey. Oh, they really knocked it out of the park for some of these witch designs, both Daphne and Sekhmet. Oh, so good, so good. Yeah, Sekhmet is a pretty nothing character because she was in one scene and you can barely remember her contribution in that scene. But this is my ranking. I can do that. I can do that. Oh, it's the man of the hour, Regulus Corneus. I am utterly speechless at the presence of this true man, this true gentleman, this absolute mad lad. With that said though, it's like it sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but I actually quite like Regulus's design. He looks like just enough of a loser, while also looking just ordinary enough to where you can reasonably understand why this guy looks in the mirror and thinks he's hot shit. He doesn't look like that much of a loser. I like the little accent of him having that blue earring. It's a tiny detail that makes him stand out, you know? To be honest, I don't know if there's a whole lot else to say about Regulus, so I'll put him in pretty great and leave it at that. I honestly forget about Ryuzu a lot, because there's just so many. You know, the whole Ryuzu plotline to me is one of my weaknesses in this series, because I rewatched season 2 not that long ago, and yet I'm already forgetting that plotline. Like never really clicked for me, to be honest. But Ryuzu, character design wise, could be better. I think the appearance of there being so many Ryuzu clones is a good like visual, but like Ryuzu on her own, just if you took one of the Ryuzus and just evaluated that single design, I don't know if I love it. Minerva, Witch of Wrath. For someone so wrathful, her design is very pretty, but she's the Witch of Wrath and potentially Amelia's mother, if we're using a theory crafting logic, or at least knows Amelia's mother, if we're using that really weird scene of her and Amelia in the end of Amelia's trial. But yeah, I feel like she's in theory well designed, but could be better. Echidna or Echidona, but I think Echidna is a more correct pronunciation. Echidna is more of the Romanization or whatever. They did a really good job. What is effectively the season 2 antagonist? Monochromatic design, just black and white. I've said it's just cool a lot in this video, but what can I say? It's just cool. I'm gonna rank a peak. Like it just is like that. Next character, Melee, getting some more relevance now that she's a part of the team of season 4. I'm gonna rank her in pretty great design for one simple reason, right? She would just be well designed, but I'm gonna rank her higher simply because they did a really good job of making her like be just forgettable enough in season 1 when she's just one of the kids in the village. But they also make her just distinct enough to where when she appears in season 2, you're like, oh, that's that one little kid from the village. So yeah, next up is Garfield Tinsel. I'm gonna put him in pretty great design. He's nothing crazy, but the X-Scar is just cool, you know. So next up is Elsa Granhart. I actually don't know how to pronounce her last name. It's like Granhart, Granhirt, something like that. Time to be brutally honest. I am a male, so she goes into big. Okay, now let me explain. The only reason for me why she might not be in peak is her face in season 3, because season 3, the designs for that season tried to aim a little bit more to the light novel designs, sort of just Utsuka's general style. And I think for every other character that works, except for Elsa. She just kind of looks weird. I think they tried to stay so on model to Utsuka's sort of general art style that it sort of is messed up a little bit with Elsa. Like they went overboard with it. Listen, I just have to say it, okay? I think Elsa's design is like perfect for the kind of character she is, right? Like what other character can you say makes you absolutely terrified out of your mind when you see boobs? No other character can do that, but Elsa can, so that's a achievement in character design, I'll say that. And, you know, some people may say, oh, she's like sort of uncomfortably sexy, but like, to me, I think that's literally her character, is that, like, she's not a character you want to mess with at all. Like, whenever she's in the room, you just want to get out of there as soon as you can. But she's tantalizing, and I think that combination just works so well, especially in the character design, because again, you may look at her at first and you think, oh, spicy, but then you like look closer and it's like, oh, there's something off about this. There's something unnerving about her, and I think that works so well, and that's one of the things that I think works really well in season 1 and season 2 with the sort of expressions that they draw on her face. Everything just seems quite not there. Like there's a light in her eyes that's just missing, and I just think it works so well. However, this also just might be my bias for Elsa in general, because again, she's dead, so I probably won't be able to talk about her much in my season 4 series, but I actually really like Elsa just as a character. Like, she's probably not like my top 5 favorite characters or whatever, but she's definitely among my favorites, because again, I think there's some like subtlety in her writing that I think goes underappreciated a lot by other people when they talk about ReZero. I really think there's some nuance and depth to her that isn't noticed a whole lot in her backstory. Oh, that really got to me when I watched it, because it's just so sad. It's so sad and also messed up, but yeah, you just really feel for her. Like even though she's literally like yeah, she's a horrific assassin, and you know she may also be a cannibal. It's still up in the air on that, but you know. So yeah, I think Elsa's design is just really good. Like it makes you uncomfortable in just the right ways. So yeah, peak tier. Okay, next up is Archie, a character I honestly just keep forgetting about, because he's not very memorable at all, apart from being in a couple episodes in Amelia's backstory. He's gonna go on Could Be Better, because you know he kind of just looks like a regular sort of Lord of the Rings fantasy elf. I'm not sure if he's meant to be a full elf or a half elf, but the slicked back hair sort of makes me think he's a full elf. But I'm not sure because the ears aren't that exaggerated. So yeah, that's a bit strange. Either way, he's not ranking highly. Next up, Betelgeuse. I'm gonna rank him in absolute drip. Now, to be fair, actual drip-wise, like in terms of clothing or whatever, it's not that crazy. But when you think back on that early season of ReZero, and just the effect that this man has on you, and again, most of that is from the actual actions taking place in the story of it, and just the dichotomy of him and Subaru. Subaru has lost his mind, but then when compared to this guy, Betelgeuse, who's actually just batshit insane, Subaru's just like, oh, suddenly I don't feel so insane anymore, because this guy, he's off his rockers. So, you can't deny that some of this comes from the actual character design of Betelgeuse, because he's just ugly enough in the right ways to just sort of unnerve you a little bit, while still being just so expressive. And he's expressive in a way that a lot of other characters besides Subaru aren't. And I think that's really interesting, so yeah. I'm gonna put him in absolute drip. Frederica Baumann. She's another maid. I'll say that. We got Rem and Ram as blue maid, red maid, and Frederica and Petra as big maid, small maid. I'll put her in well designed. Again, I think the contrast between her beastly sort of appearance with the sharp teeth and frizzy hair and like wild eyebrows is meant to contrast with the eloquent sort of sounding voice in the maid outfit, obviously. But at the same time, it is a contrast, and it's not a contrast I think maybe works the best. Which again, it may be harsh for me to say that, but Yeah, I'm gonna put her in well designed. And again, well designed is not the bad tier or whatever. Petra. Again, it's a similar thing to Melee, where when you see her in season 1, she's just forgettable background kid character. But then in season 2 and beyond, she actually like steps up, and you can actually see how her character design shines now when she's actually given more to work with than just regular kid character design number 507. So I'm gonna put her right next to Frederica, because again, she doesn't stand out that much, but she's still good. She's still good. Oh, best boy Otto. Otto Suin. I'm gonna put Otto in absolute drip, because hear me out. Like some other characters, he looks a little bit forgettable. But that works so well for Otto, because again, he is that just random background side character that then all of a sudden just becomes the best bro you could ever imagine. And he has the design for it, and it just fits so well, because then he steps up and becomes more prominent, and so his side character status and his sort of like side character look just stands out all the more. So yeah, it's good stuff, it's good stuff. Okay, now we're really getting into glop shitter territory. Dynastrastati. I'm gonna be brutally honest, I did not remember this character's name at all. I don't even think I bothered to learn it in the first place when I first watched season 3. Even in some of my rewatches of season 3, I didn't bother to remember this character. I only remember him now because he was brought up a lot in the custodians' reactions of season 3. But Dynus, he's going into peak tier, bro. Like it is motherfucking Dynastrastati, okay? Though to be brutally honest, I'm putting him there because I can't be bothered actually thinking about what tier Dynastrastati of all characters would go in. And next up is Meliquera, a flaming horse. Here's the thing. A giant flaming horse you would think would go really high, as far as unique, iconic character designs go. But to be honest, there's something that never really sat right with me about Meliquera. I don't know what it is, but I think that's just really because all he is just an ethereal flaming horse. And there's not really much to it apart from that. Like, there's not a whole lot of distinctive features about him. Yeah, there's not really much else to say, so I'll just put him in Could Be Better. Priscilla Reala. I will say, again, this isn't about characters in general, it's about character design, but Priscilla in Season 1 I forgot about because, well, to be honest, in Season 1 she's really just the bitch character, and that's about it. But in Season 3 she steps up a whole lot, and I'm gonna be honest, she might be one of my favourite royal candidates. I mean, there's only 5, so there's not that many, but she might honestly be my second or third favourite, honestly. Yeah, Priscilla's design. It is really cool. It is haughty in all the right ways, you know? Especially that hand fan, you know? It gives just the right impression of who you think Priscilla is and how she actually is. Because, you know, when you think of, someone in a giant poofy dress like that, with the harsh black and red colours and just that whole heaving bosom sort of look, you just think of someone that's just like, this is just an overly posh sort of bitchy sort of character. But no. And yes, that's how her character initially appears, but then later on, there's actually a little bit of nuance with her, and her actions don't always correlate to how she's saying it. She's saying things a bit more harshly than how she's actually doing things. And so it sort of makes you appreciate Priscilla a little bit more, and appreciate this design, because it's just like, that's just how she is. It's not a sign of a stereotypical posh character or whatever. It's actually more to it than that. And honestly, okay, I can't in good conscience give her peak tier, but she can settle for absolute drip. Next up, Capella Emirata Lagunica Charnsummer. It's quite the mouthful. Capella. Another Season 3 character that got censored in the anime. And unlike Liliana, I'd say her uncensored design is a lot better, because for the simple fact that she's the Sin Archbishop of Lust. If there's any character you can make as slutty as you want, it's Capella. She is the lust villain. Again, I understand why they did it, because such and such, it's a global broadcast or whatever, but, you know, in a perfect world, just leave her as her is, okay? Anyway, I'm ranking this off the anime design, and anime design-wise, she is raunchy and lewd in just the right ways, and just the right ways that make you sort of uncomfortable as well, especially compared to the sort of unknowables of a design, like how she always has like eyeballs in her hair or whatever, and how her like hands and feet are like weirdly pink. I don't know if those are meant to be stockings or if those are actual like shape-shifted parts of her. And of course, comparing the skimpy clothing to the weird like egg sacs that are attached to her like tailbone almost. It's like, just as you sort of get leering eyes at this character design, you get drawn to those like weird pulsating masses that look way too like bug-like. And then all of a sudden you're just like, ugh, like that's not very nice to look at. And then from seeing all of that, you just get the impression, oh yeah, this character this is someone you don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. Like, she's bad news. She's bad news. So, yeah, honestly, I might give a peak tier. I honestly might. The peak tier is now almost as big as the well-designed tier, but hey, it's ReZero. ReZero does a lot of things well, and some of those things are the character designs. Okay, we've got 7 characters left, and they're all sort of major, and they're all pretty major characters. So next up is Ferris. Because you can't catch me calling this character Felix, because that's what the internet calls him, and I prefer not to go by what the internet thinks of this character. Anyway, Ferris. You know, I haven't actually really thought about the character design of Ferris. Where would I put Ferris? You know, I've been racking my brain thinking about where I put Ferris, and I'm just gonna put him in well designed because I honestly can't even really think of what to say about Ferris's design. It's just really because it's really just a trap character, like one of the better designed trap characters in anime. But you know, I wonder what would happen if Ferris got his memories erased, like Krush. Because Krush, her whole demeanor changed after that, because she became a lot more feminine after that. Because clearly when she was engaging in the role of the royal candidate, she put on this sort of like more commanding presence. So I wonder if Ferris, if he got his memories erased, he would be a bit more masculine and take on less of this sort of nice healer sort of role. I wonder. Anyway. Oh, next up is Julius. Not Julius Novachrono, but Julius Euclius. I'm going to rank him. Oh, you know, I was going to put him in well designed, but I have to raise him a whole tier higher because of that knight uniform. Oh, the ReZero knight uniforms look so good, man. Yeah, I'm going to put him in pretty great. Okay, Aldebaran. I did not know he had a missing hand until embarrassingly late. Let's just say that. Yeah, I'm going to put him in peak, right? There's just something about characters that are only armored on the head, but then just have like this bare-chested sort of look. And the cloak. Like, this character stands out even in Season 1. It's just like, oh, that guy with the helmet. It's really cool. Oh, and the plume on the helmet, the red plume. Oh, so good. And a lot of the reasons why I'm ranking him this high is just a rule of cool. He just looks cool, but you know, with a character like this, it's just how it is. Another weird bit of asymmetry in his design with the legs. His ankle is ever so slightly showing on one side. That's weird. Reinhard of Anastasia. You know, when you look at this character, he really looks like the true isekai protagonist. Just colourful hair, giant sword, handsome face. I'm going to put him in pretty great too. I don't think his uniform is as good as Julius, but I think the way his weapon looks and his hair, I think that bumps him up to the same tier as Julius. Roswell L. Mathers. I will say, he has this sort of Hisoka sort of effect to where him without the makeup, in just like regular in the bandages he has in Season 2, he kind of looks better like that, to be honest. He's another extremely memorable character, so I'm gonna put him in. Oh, where will I put him? In Absolute Drip. Because yeah, I think he's better than all of the characters in pretty great design. Puck. I don't know if I'd like Puck, to be honest. There's something about him. There's something about him that just has a bit of a dissonance between what I think the story is trying to portray with Puck and what is actually being portrayed. And how Puck's written. You're just sort of meant to be like, oh, Puck's a cute little cat, and he's also like a dad to Amelia. But then it's like you actually look at what Puck does and how Puck raised Amelia, and it's like, oh, this isn't that great. And he just has no acknowledgement of it whatsoever. So yeah, whatever. I'm gonna be brutally honest. I'm not a fan. Yeah, I just don't really care for it. And our final character, Ram, and I'm ranking her. I'm ranking both her maid outfit and her Season 4 sort of adventuring outfit. And again, I can't get this enough. Her Season 4 outfit is just the drippiest thing imaginable. Like, it just can't be underestimated. The drip in her adventuring outfit. It's just so cool, man. And yeah, she's gonna go right alongside her sister in Absolute Drip. It messes with the formatting of the tier a little bit, but you know, it's just where she has to go. Because again, I don't think she differs too much from how Rem looks for me to rank her that differently. The only difference is like the expression she makes is often different from Rem. And yeah, her bows and ribbons are on the other side. Her fringe goes along a different side as well. Obviously hair color. And yes, that is absolutely the only difference between the two. There is no other difference, trust me. There's no other difference whatsoever. And yeah, that's the tier list. So I hope this slop was somewhat enjoyable to watch. I'd be interested in hearing where other people rank these character designs, and if there were any major disagreements in where you would place these things. I'd be interested to hear. And this isn't me trying to like engagement bait or whatever, like, oh, drop those comments and get up the engagement or whatever, because again, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just genuinely curious to hear what other people would think. So yeah, I think that's about it. So currently doing a series going through season 4 of ReZero, so if you're interested in more ReZero sort of stuff, then you can stick around, I guess. But it's not the only thing I'm going to be doing, because I want to make other videos as well, because I'm just in a general video making mood, you know. But I'll probably also make just more ReZero videos in general, because again, I love this show, man. I love this show. But that's about it, so I'll end the video now.